I'm joined here today by the one, the only. It is, of course, Mike Davis, live from quarantine, still in Vegas, set to fight Mason Jones real soon. What's going on, sir? How are you?
How are we doing? I'm good.
We're
Feeling
glad
good.
to hear it.
Yeah.
How's quarantine, man? Because I know it's good. It's gonna be real boring for you guys. I know you're in Vegas. How's that going?
It's freaking boring. So I have my little station here, and I'm kind of just watching YouTube videos and trying to engage with some people.
I
I
know
got a
you
lot of
have.
people wanting to do interviews with me, but because of that, all the time differences, it's just not matching up.
Oh yeah, why are you getting stuff from Europe and stuff like that, or how's that
Yeah,
looking?
everywhere, literally everywhere around the world. But whenever I try to schedule something, I'm like, let's do 7 a.m. my time, and it's like midnight here, and I was like, nope, just I don't want to do it.
Yeah, man, but Pacific time is complicated. I know when I was living in France, like anytime I had someone in California wanting to do something Pacific time, it's like a 9 hour time difference. So it was like I'm trying to stay reasonable for you guys, but sometimes it can get pretty crazy.
It's interesting. Definitely, it's adaptable though. You gotta plan right.
Well, I had like Khalil Roundtree one time. This was years ago. I had to wake up at 4 in the morning to make it work. 'Cause he wanted to do it after practice, and it was like I got a lot of insults because I woke up at 4 a.m. to do it, and it was like I did not look good for 4 a.m. So, but this one, I mean, this one made it work. I'm on Eastern time, so it's a pretty reasonable time
Oh,
for yourself.
yeah, no, it's good here. It's 5 o'clock. Feeling good.
So what are you doing during quarantine? You mentioned watching videos. I think you have an IG live. I don't know if you've done that yet, but like,
I
did you bring like a
never,
game system?
that's what I'm doing. I didn't bring my games. I did get a PS5 for Christmas, but I did not bring it, and that is the biggest mistake. So all the people out there, if you are going somewhere and you are quarantined, bubble wrap your PS5, your PlayStation, something, and bring it. Trust me, just bring it.
I feel like you didn't prepare correctly though, man. Like if there was a time to bring a PS5, it was Vegas quarantine, Fight Island quarantine. Long, I don't know if you could have used it during the long flight, but that would have been the time to use it.
100%. I was babying it. An item all the men out there want, even some women, and to try and travel with it, I was kind of taking care of my baby a little bit.
Man, PS5. How did you get hooked up with that? Because I know I sort of looked into
You
it,
gotta
not
pay
that
a little
hard,
extra.
but
That's all. I just had to pay a little extra for it.
oh yeah, there you go. There you go. No, because I know everybody was trying to like Walmart, everybody's getting it, but you got to find a plug at this point. Like you can't just show up and then try to buy a regular.
Not a single person had one.
So what's the plan when you get to Fight Islands? I don't know if the Wi-Fi is any good. I heard some people say it wasn't good. I know some guys were pretty bored. What's the plan during quarantine? You have something to keep yourself entertained? Obviously
No.
not the PS5.
Oh my god. If the Wi-Fi isn't good there, I'm personally gonna like link into the system. I'm gonna find somebody to give me something. I can't just sit here. This is getting kind of boring. I have like extreme ADHD, so I'm just constantly moving, constantly looking around, thinking of something to do. I can't go outside. I can barely leave the room. So I can go down to the lobby to get food that I ordered, which is pretty much pistachios, just freaking nuts and coffee. That's all I got.
But you're cutting. I'm sure you're cutting weight, or at least you're in the process of it, right? So even the food, it's not like you could go and get like some McDonald's or something. Like
Oh,
even the food's got to be pretty plain.
I got to order from so and so, custom order it. Hey, make it with no oil, no this, no seasoning. Put the sauce on the side. It's freaking terrible. This is the worst.
What do you guys do for water? Because I know a lot of fighters they're water loading. We see you guys with the gallons of water and stuff like that. Is that something you have to bring with you ahead of time, or are you just going to be buying it as you sort of go along with the process?
The UFC provides these gallons. Whenever you need one, just go grab another one.
That's perfect. How's the water taste? Because everybody says like if you don't think different water tastes different, then you don't drink enough water.
Every water tastes different. Personally, I'm a fan of Dasani, and I know a lot of people don't like Dasani. And then apparently it's like bad on the pH scale. But uh, yeah, this water, it does the trick. I don't drink water. I drink all my water has uh, Crystal Light or some shit in
Oh
it.
yeah.
So it always tastes like grape or peach tea, and I just chug the whole thing in like 2 hours. This tastes really great. I have to force myself to drink these things.
Wait, so
But
so
I'm
you
doing
don't
too much.
like water?
Do not like water.
How is that possible? Like I feel like you could maybe you don't like water as much as something else, but how do you just straight up not like water? That seems pretty crazy to me.
I don't know. It's just not something I like to drink. I have to flavor it. It's just I've gotten so used to flavoring my water now. Drinking regular water for fights is it's just plain. It's boring. It's hard.
Uh,
It really is like a challenge for me to drink this gallon of water.
how many gallons are you at? So you guys like you got to drink like what 3 4 gallons a day or something like that.
I
Like
drink
it's pretty
two.
crazy too.
I drink two, and I've already had two. This is my third, and I just sipping at it.
Oh man, I feel like it's torture just hearing you. Like if you don't like water and you three get like just getting through a gallon a day is tough. But you got three of them and you don't like it. Like oh
Well,
my
this
god.
one, yeah, that's all. That's terrible.
So how's the bathroom situation for you? I assume every 5 minutes like you have to go pee, right? At least that's some
Yeah.
sort of activity for you.
Yep. Get up, walk around. I mainly try to just find anime. I love anime. I'm a big nerd, so I'm on Google looking up different animes I can watch since I've already watched them all. Um, I even thought about getting. I don't know if anyone here is an anime fan, but I've thought about getting back into One Piece. I'm at episode 736, and they're at 900 and something now. So that would give me all my quarantine time.
So are you one of those guys like do you enjoy taking the time to sort of think about your fight this whole time? 'Cause I know some guys like think about it constantly. Some of them it's like, listen, I've been thinking about it for weeks. I need a break. What's sort of your process like at this point?
I haven't thought about this fight one single time.
Oh, why is
Not
that?
at all. Why?
Yeah.
Uh, I guess it was kind of like my whole career. Um, I never really wanted to be a fighter. I got picked on a lot. So when I got into this fighting, um, it wasn't like my first choice. And when I started training, because I learned extremely easy, I got really good for no reason. And I didn't want to fight. So my coaches, Kevin Rooney, back in the day, a boxing coach, he told me to take a fight. And I didn't want to do boxing. So I tried an MMA fight because I was a wrestler, I was a big wrestler. And when I was wrestling, my mom told me that her coworkers did MMA. I didn't know what it was. I'm like 16, I think. So I tried it. I did it for like 3 months, and then they didn't even tell me, but they put me in a fight, a title fight, for a New York Shoto. So I took that fight, hardest fight of my life. But even today, still the hardest fight. I didn't know what I was doing. I was scared. I had butterflies. The kid looked just like me, like builds, he's muscular, he's huge, just like me. So it was a terrifying moment. And I went in there, I mixed up my boxing and my wrestling, the only two things I knew. I didn't know how to grapple, I didn't really know jiu-jitsu. So I just wrestled. He tried to take me down, I'd sprawl, I'd defend, I'd shoot back on him, take him down, I'd box him, and then I won. And I was, holy shit, like that feeling felt amazing. And I just kept doing it. So fighting isn't something I like. I do not like fighting. So I don't think about my fights. I don't try to plan for them. I just go out there and I just fight. And I believe in my skills, all my friends. That's what I like. I like to go to my gym. I like to train with my teammates and laugh and we like have fun. We learn something new. We try it on each other. We get it. We make fun of each other while we grapple, laugh, and it's just my time. It's just my home to me. That's what I consider my family. And then when I became good, apparently it gave me a way to do this for a living. So when I fight now, it's letting me continue to have fun. And it's kind of just like the negative effect for me. I had to go in that ring and fight for my life. But the positive is that as I do that, I don't have to go and work a 9 to 5 job. So it's definitely haven't really thought about this fight. Just I'm gonna go in there as I always do and fight.
That's so crazy. Like you hear someone, it's like I don't necessarily like what I do, but you're good at it. It's like how
Yeah,
crazy. And then fighting too. Like fighting is not something like not just any idiot can go out and do that. Like to whoop some ass, like you know you have to be good at that. I feel like for a lot of people they do it because they love it, but for you it's like just being good naturally. Like that's a crazy thing to hear.
I don't like fighting. I'm telling you all right now, I don't like to fight. Hurts.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I know we spoke after your last fight, and it was funny because you're one of those guys like you almost felt bad for the way you won, right? 'Cause, I mean, it was obviously it was a
Yeah,
big beat down. Is that I mean, is that a part of it because you don't like fighting? Maybe you don't necessarily like hurting people either, that kind of adds to it for you in this
No,
case?
I don't like to hurt people, and especially when it's for my life. I mean, I have to hurt you. It's just and when it goes to the octagon, and I mean the cage closes, and then there's this one person in front of you, and he's trying to kill you. He's literally trying to kill you, trying to choke you to death, trying to break your body, your parts, trying to knock you out, and then continue to punch you. He's trying to kill you, and in my head is just fight for your life. Like I'm literally fighting for my life, and if I stop fighting, you have a chance to kill me. So I tunnel vision and I just keep fighting you until someone stops me.
So you are going to be fighting Mason Jones. When I say that name, like what does that bring up to you? Because it sounds like you said, you don't focus on your opponent at all. Did
No.
you do any kind of research, or was it just that's the name that's on the contract you signed?
When I went through 2020, worst year of my life, I was injured all 2020. There wasn't a single month where I felt good. Um, I was riding on the money I made from the Thomas Gifford fight, and as that came to a close, I ran out my savings. Everything was gone. It was about October now, so I made it through the whole year, which was thankful. And October, now I'm kind of like out of a place almost. It's hard to put food on the table. Got to go to work. Got to do something. I don't get unemployment, and I just called my manager and told him, "Look, I'm at a point where it's fight or suffer. So let's whatever name you got. My answer is yes. I don't need to see a name. I don't need to see the person. Just my answer is yes. Let's go." So he gave me. At first, it was Jones Mason or something like that, or John Mason. And it was the wrong name, of course. And he said, "Look, this guy is his UFC debut. He's on a 3-fight losing streak." And I was like, I don't know. I don't care. Sure. And then the next day he's like, "Oh, my bad. It's Mason Jones, 10-0 Cage Warriors kid." I was like, "Cool. I don't care. Let's do it." So
So
no, I didn't really look into the kid. I didn't really know what he's about. Just it's part of the job.
so
Whoever it is, it's part of the job.
So you're going to be doing a bunch of pre-fight media when you get to Fight Island, I'm sure, with the press conferences and stuff. When
Yeah.
people are asking you specific questions about your opponent, like obviously the matchup, your thoughts on him and stuff like that. What are you saying? Like, I assume you're not telling them I don't know who this guy is. Like, are you just making shit up off the top of your head, or what? Do you have something
I,
planned for that?
I haven't had anyone ask me much questions about the kid. Um, I believe I got messages from random people on Instagram that sent me stuff saying that he was like a big shit talker and he's out doing interviews saying that I'm a bad fighter or something like that. But I'm not. That's not me. I'm not a shit talker. I'm just gonna show up and you're gonna see that I'm not a bad fighter. I'm 26-2, and the two people I lost to are the hardest people in the UFC right now. I believe Gilbert Burns is the champion come February, and I believe Sadiq Youssef will be a champion when he continues to climb. He's in the top 15 now.
Yeah,
Kid's a monster.
I think
Kid's a
so.
monster.
Maybe Andre Fili, and I think he's like number 15 or
Yeah,
14, something like that.
kid's a monster. But
So
still, I
yeah.
came into that with no game plan. So
That's so crazy to me because I know there's so many people, like some fighters, like you hear them, it's like everything is, I'll watch tape. My coach is this. I have to visualize, and it sounds for you, it's just like I'm gonna go out there and fight another grown man, and hopefully it goes well because I know how to fight.
yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how it's always been.
Yeah,
That's literally how it's always been, and it's worked 26 times. So
yeah.
in 10 days, it'll be 27 times.
That's that's crazy. Listen, this fight though, there's gonna be no crowd. Well, I think there's gonna be a
For the
tiny crowd,
crowd.
right? 2,000 is a small crowd. But were you
Oh, I
worried
didn't
at
know
all?
it was reduced.
Yeah, I think it's 2,000 people, something like that. But did you think at all about the no crowd thing? You think that's gonna be a factor, or the fact there's obviously gonna be less people this
Oh,
time
I
around?
already fought with no crowd at the Contender Series. It's just a lot of impact punches. You can hear your corner very well, and I like that. I can also hear his corner, so I can. And people are. I mean, I can understand lingo. Like you can try to blend your words to make it sound like something else, but I'm not retarded. So I know what you're doing, and I catch on like immediately. So
Yeah.
it's with the crowd, it's a little more hectic because I'm mainly trying to focus on my corner so that I know what they see. So with a crowd, it makes it a little more difficult to read your opponent. I think.
So it sounds like it's going to be even easier for you because now you get to hear your corner, you get to hear his corner, and it's part of the winging it game plan of just going out there. But how do your coaches react to all this? Are they? I assume they have to be more prepared than you are for your opponent, right? I assume they're watching tape and stuff like that. How are your coaches reacting to all of this?
Mm. Wow.
Oh
Look,
man.
look. When I go to a fight, I believe in my wrestling. I've wrestled for a dozen years. I currently still train with Olympic coaches. My wrestling is good. Okay, I'm not worried about my wrestling. I trained and grew up boxing with Customato. Not with Customato. He was obviously Mike Tyson's coach. I was with Kevin Rooney, the secondary coach. Now I grew up boxing with him, and then I've moved on to box with Pete White. Moved on, still boxing right now with like Eric Kelly. Eric Kelly was before his incident. He was one of the best in the world, ranked I think number 4 in the world. So I still box. I still have my boxing. And then jiu-jitsu, man, I tap black belts left and right. I think nearly everyone on my mat is a UFC black belt. So it's constant competition with jiu-jitsu. And I have no fear with my jiu-jitsu at all because I am creative, slick, strong. I don't really find many people stronger than me at my weight class. I mean, going up to 55 is going to be a little different, but still, even as a 55er pound for pound, I think I am one of the strongest, if not the strongest. So,
For sure. One last question for you, which I'm curious to hear how you're going to answer because I always end up in interviews like this. But since you're kind of the winging it thing, I'd be curious to know how you answer it. But how do you see yourself getting your hand raised in this fight?
8 wins as a pro, 8 finishes as a pro, 9 finishes as a pro. I don't care which round, but it's going to be a finish. I'm finishing you. It's just my last fight was close. Okay, there was 15 seconds on the clock, and I got that finish. So I'm coming in this one, and I'm finishing you, and that's it. Don't care how it happens. I'll slam you on your neck. I'll tap you out, knock you out, whichever way. Referee stoppage, doesn't matter. As long as you stop fighting me, I'm winning.
There we go. What an answer. I don't think you could have answered that any better. Listen, man, thanks so much for the time. I appreciate it. You give me anxiety a little bit here in the sort of,
Oh, cool.
the compared to
Oh,
some
you
of
have
the
money
other.
riding on me? Is that what it is?
What?
Or you have some money riding on me? Is that what it
No,
is?
no, no, no. This is out of media. I have to be professional. But no, just for you. Like you hear all these guys talking about all their preparation, and yours is just, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to go out there. It's like there's a ton of people that wouldn't be able to do something like that. But it's a testament to you and your skills for sure.
Thank you.
Well, there we go, man. Well, listen, I appreciate your time. I do went a little bit over, but listen, it's going to be a great fight. I don't have to tell you
Yeah,
that, and
it's
I'm looking forward to it.